Well, what's up, my friend? Jason Stapleton here, and today I want to show you how you can get all the leads that you could ever want for free using this simple, tried and tested tactic that almost nobody uses anymore, and I don't know why. So I'm going to show it to you right now. Okay, so this is a big, bold claim. Get all the leads you could ever want for free. And a lot of people make these big, bold claims, but this really does work. I use this consistently in my own business, in addition to a lot of the other like paid media outlets. But if you are new, you have a small list, don't have a big advertising budget, and aren't ready to start spending money to try and attract traffic, this can be a really effective tool for you. And I think that one of the reasons we get away from this is I think we look on the internet and we see everybody on Facebook doing Facebook paid ads. We see people doing Google or YouTube ads or anything else. And there are a ton of gurus out there who are pitching you on courses and programs that will teach you how to do this effectively. And some of them are very good. Some of them, I've trained with myself and learned a little bit about YouTube advertising and Google advertising from those folks. And so I don't want to discount that in any way. But what I'm going to show you here is going to work well even if you have a small list, all the way up to having a massive list. It just is going to, who you target with this is going to change a little bit. But you will need, I think you will need some form of a list in order for this to work really effectively. But if you've managed to do any sort of lead generation at all, this should work relatively well for you. And so let me show you the right way to do this and the wrong way to do it. What we're essentially going to do is we are going to reach out to people that we think would be a good fit for us and would be a complement to our audience, but non-competitive. So for example, let's say that you work for, I'll use myself as an example. Okay, I work in marketing and business development for what we would consider early stage entrepreneurs, so people under $500,000 a year. That being the case, I help them learn how to build digital businesses, learn how to promote those businesses so that they can scale those businesses quickly, okay? Well, a complement to that would be someone who owns a website development company, somebody who helps people will build websites. I actually have somebody with me that I work with. His name is Nate Kruska. He owns a fantastic website that called Chroma Sites, and he helped me develop my website. And so one of the things I do with him is I've set up a strategic partnership with him where we cross-promote each other's companies and each other's brands, and we share resources. So he's attracting people for his website business. I'm attracting people for my business development and early stage entrepreneurial growth company. And we share those resources. Now, Nate and I have been cooperating for quite a while. We've known each other even longer, but you can also do this with people that you have never met before. You can reach out cold to folks and get them to, and solicit them to do an email list exchange to you, to sell leads to you. And I want to show you how you do that correctly. Now, the first way is the wrong way, and this is what you have probably seen everywhere you go. This was Madeline. She sent me something this morning, which is what prompted me to want to do this video. This was on LinkedIn, and she just asked to be a connection of mine, and of course I accepted. I accept all connections, and she came back and said, "Hey, Jason, it's a pleasure to connect. Would be great to jump on a conversation to exchange expertise and see if we have synergy. Best wishes, Madeline." Now, I get what she's trying to do. She's trying to start a conversation. She's trying to get me on a call so that then she can, what she really wants to do is she wants to sell me on her services. When she says, I want to find out if we have synergies, what she's really saying is, I want to find out if I can sell you anything and see if I can convince you of the value of what I have by getting on a call with you. Problem is, I'm very busy and I don't want to be on a call with Madeline. I don't know what Madeline does, and frankly, I don't care what Madeline does because until I've decided that she can help me with something, I'm not interested in wasting my time talking to her. But you see, littered with across the internet and across LinkedIn are conversations just like this. And I'm not sure how effective this is, but when it costs you nothing to do it, it's why people are so lazy. Okay? But in order for you to create the type of free leads and free traffic that you're looking for from your partners online, you need to bring something more to the table. And so I want to show you, this is what I did with a guy named RJ Youngling, who I think is fascinating. He is in behavioral science, behavioral economics, which are two things that I absolutely love. It tethers really well with all the marketing and the advertising work that I do with my clients. And so I wanted to get in business with him. And the way I did that was by approaching him, not by saying, hey, just wondered if we could get on a call and see if there were any synergies between us. Let's waste time talking to each other with no real clear goal in mind. Instead, I went to him and I hit him up on the Twitters. And I said, hey, brother, I really enjoy your emails and your Twitter commentary. I run a marketing agency and a coaching company, and I would love to talk to you about some of the ways that we could work together. One, have you on my podcast to discuss, let me see if I can read it right. To discuss the 8 determinants of ability, behavioral science, etc. So that was actually something that he had written about that I was interested in. So not only did I tell him that, hey, I'm on your email list, but I also read what you put out, and here's something interesting that you wrote that I would love to talk to you about. I'd love to do a cross promotion of products, a newsletter or subscription or something of the like. I could, 3, do a pay per lead exchange, which is where he would send an email for me and I would pay him for every lead that he sent me. Or some other JV or affiliate partnership that may be more appealing to you. Let me know if any of those sound interesting. All the best, Jason Stapleton. He comes back quickly. He says, my guy, sounds good. I'm down for 1 and 2. Maybe we can have a chat about the JV stuff. And then we went on to go ahead and arrange a time for him to come on the show. That's the difference, is that when I approach these folks to ask them for a partnership, to ask them for a list exchange, I'm doing so by first presenting them a chance to raise their own exposure, to come on my podcast, for me to discuss something that they're involved with and that they're interested in. Everybody wants and is looking for an outlet for themselves. Everybody wants more recognition, more celebrity. They want to go on shows where they're appreciated and people actually know what it is that they do. And so for a guy like him who is engaged in behavioral science, but is not directly engaged with coaching or small business consulting, he's a great fit for me. Because he has an audience of people who are interested in the same things that my audience would be interested in, as well as, but is non-competitive to me. And so what I did was I went out and I found about 50 or 60 different people that I follow on a regular basis that I really love, who are engaged in complementary but non-competitive niches to me, and I started emailing them. And I typically open up the conversation by saying, hey man, I love what you're doing. I'd love to chat with you on my show. Or I approach it and just say, hey, would you be interested in a list exchange? I think that we have some really good synergy, but we're not going to be stealing clientele from each other, because the people who need my services also need website development services. They also want information on, say, nomadic living, because that's a big thing that I preach and talk about, is that sort of nomadic lifestyle where you create a digital business that gives you freedom of mobility as well as high income. And so people who are involved in that are great. People who are involved in the investment world, be it real estate or stocks, those are things that my audience have a deep connection with and who are interested in, but that are not direct competitors to what I sell. And by reaching out and talking to these folks and presenting them with this option, when you present it that way, they recognize, oh, wow, this is a way for me to accumulate, maybe it's 50 leads, maybe it's 500 leads. It doesn't really matter what it is, but what can I offer these folks that's going to be of extreme value to them, but that's going to be non-competitive to me? And every one of the folks that you're going to talk to in some form or fashion is looking for that. They're looking for ways that you can add value, where they can add value to their community and to their list without spending a lot of money. And that's what we've done here. But you can't do it like this. You can't just reach out and say, hey, some sort of like, I'm not really sure, wishy-washy thing about us getting on a call to chat about stuff. That's garbage. And nobody's going to respond to that, as I didn't respond to Madeline. But something like this, where you lay out not one option, not two options, but 3 or 4 options on how they might work together. Not only are you more likely to get a response from them because they recognize you actually know a little bit about them and what they do, but because you've given them multiple options, the likelihood that they will be interested in 1 or 2 of them is pretty good. If you just sit them up and say, hey, would you like to do X, Y, and Z? The answer may be no. But if you give them 2 or 3 options, the odds go up that they're going to want to do something with you. And so this is a way, again, you can do this an indefinite number of times. You can just keep doing it with people that you see and that you find. Just make a note, hey, I need to reach out to that guy. It's a quick email. As you saw, this one I just did on Twitter. Just send them, but you could do the same thing in an email. It just says, hey man, I'd love to work with you. I love what you're doing. I think that my audience would benefit from your expertise. And then once you've kind of started that conversation, then you can broach the idea of maybe doing a list exchange, maybe offering to buy some leads from them if they're not open to an exchange. But I have had a wild amount of success with this over the last 3 or 4 months, deploying this and just reaching out to people cold and offering them a chance to raise their own profile and exchange lists with me. Basically, they send an email for me, I send an email for them, and we promote each other's free products. So mine would be my Daily Alchemy newsletter that I put out. His was his website that he wanted people to go to. And we've done this 3 or 4 times now. And each time it's gone gangbusters. It's an extra 100 leads, an extra 500 leads, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Because by doing it this way, it's okay for you to promote these folks to your list because they're people you really like. They're people that you admire and appreciate. They're people that bring value to your life and to your business. And if they're doing that for you, they're going to do that for your audience as well. And because they're non-competitive, it means that you can go out to them. And not be afraid that, oh, I'm going to pitch somebody else and they're going to go over there and they're going to leave me in my list, which is something everybody's afraid of. You don't have to worry about that either. So give this a try. Go out, find 5 or 10 people that you really, really like and admire online and start sending them pitches. You will be most effective with this if you focus on people who are kind of at the same level you are. So if your list is, say, 2,000 people or 5,000 or 10,000, try and find other people in your niche, in a complementary niche who are at about the same level you are. Makes it so much easier to say, hey, I have a list of 10,000 people. You got a list of 8,000 people. Let's just do an email exchange. I'll promote your thing, you promote my thing, and it'll be a value add to both of us. And that is a really, really easy way to grow your list by hundreds or thousands of people without spending a single dime on advertising, without having to learn about all of the nuances of going out and doing paid ads, without spending hours and hours and hours posting just content pieces on the internet and on social media that never get seen. Because the social media companies now, like Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, aren't showing your stuff organically anymore. The only way to really get seen, even by people who follow you, is to do paid traffic on those sites. So if you're new, or if you got a very small budget, that's going to be out of the realm of possibility for you. So you got to find other alternatives, and this is a great one. Give it a try. Tell me it doesn't work like gangbusters. If you're already using this strategy, leave me a comment below and tell me what you think. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube page, and so that you always get these updates and stuff that I do. Until next time, be safe, be good, and thanks for watching.